Thank you for coming back and joining me for my first review of Power, Book 3, Season 4, Episode 1, Gangsters Don't Die. This season, we're starting 3 months prior to where we left off at the big warehouse scene. We get to find out how we ended up at the warehouse. And we leave off and we're picking up where Unique was left in some kind of a landfill, left for dead by his brother. You know, where his brother actually beat him up real bad and left him in a landfill. So what had happened was Unique was left for dead, and he's finding his way to my gosh. Of all times, I mean, that just is like, of course she would be pregnant. Of course she would be pregnant. Anyway, moving along. So meanwhile, we're going past that. Streets need a body. Streets need a body. Streets need a body. Streets need a body. Streets. Body. Streets, body. Streets, body. Streets need a body. Famous is still living off of Streets Need a Body. He's down to the club at Lou's Club, still remixing and kicking it with Streets Need a Body. Lord, please, did they find it? Did they find the person who left it? Leave it. Leave it. Find a new song, take it to number 1, and move on, Famous. Move on. So here we find out where we're establishing the relationships. Kanan still don't mess with his mama. Uncle Lou is apologizing to Jukebox for failing to support her and be there for her time of need, when he just apologized for her last season for falling short, and yet he's doing it again. And Jukebox girlfriend is falling hard and starting to develop stronger feelings. To me, I feel like we're establishing some circles here where we're going to be revisiting where Jukebox ends up having these relationships where they get attached to her or they have strong feelings, and somehow her family ends up ruining those relationships to innocent people that end up being connected to her. So almost like how she keeps mentioning how Nicole was such a lucky person to have Jukebox. Well, now she might be in the same situation similar to Nicole, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that is being foreshadowed in a sense. Because later on in the episode, I don't know the girl's name. I'm so sorry, y'all, but Jukebox girlfriend and Jukebox are having dinner, meeting Jukebox meeting Jukebox parents. And of course, Jukebox parents seem to be a pretty established family. They're focused on education and stability and just a well-rounded family. And they don't want their daughter to be drugged down or involved in any nonsense. So they're encouraging Jukebox, or trying to figure out what does Jukebox have planned for her future, because their daughter planned to go to Spelman, not just be a part of a group called Butter that's really going nowhere because it's not set up for her to succeed. So they have other plans, other options for her, and they want to know if Jukebox has any options for herself. And that leaves Jukebox to really think about and do some introspective thoughts as far as to what does she plan on doing. And she did this before last season, where she was kind of trying to figure out her way, other than just doing the street stuff with her family. She really wanted something different for herself. She really wanted to do something positive, wanted something more for herself rather than just doing street stuff. So here we're finding her full circle back again, trying to figure out her way. And we see that later on, also later on in the episode, instead of going to her family members, she goes to Nicole's dad. And that is someone that she feels that she can go to for a source of support and encouragement, where she has an established bond, clearly, because of the relationship she had with his daughter. So they have a shared love for Nicole. And he accepted her and their relationship. So she feels like she can go to him and be a comfort space for her. And share the thoughts and share her ideas and her plans. And he can really give her full support, which he does. And that's where she decides to pick his brain a little bit and ask him more about his military career and what his experience was there. And then we can kind of see where another opportunity that Jukebox may continue to explore. Of course, as we know her, when we first met Jukebox, she was a police officer. So we can see how military could somehow formulate that police, strong-willed type vibe, So we see where we have that. Also in the episode, we saw that, which was really, really sad. And I really hope that okay. Also in the episode, we see where the plot is established, where Kanan is forced to do a project by his principal because he's clearly failing in school. He's been out in the streets because he hasn't been coming to school. So basically, if you're not trying to fail and if you're not trying to get kicked out, you need to complete this project. And the project is to write a paper or write an essay about someone that is important to you and your family. And of course, Kanan don't know nobody influential or he considers to be important in his family. So it's like, who is he going to write about? And he is stuck. So he ends up saying, I'll do it. I can't do it, y'all. But you know what he did. So he's going around on his journey to collect data on his family. And his first stop is to go to his father, the police officer, Omar, and, say, hey, can I do some research on your peoples? And of course, he immediately shuts that down because he doesn't want their secret to be exposed as far as to who Kanan really is to him and who he is to Kanan, as that would put, that would just expose them and put them more in danger. So he immediately shut that down, but still extended the offer to continue to develop a relationship with him. But while we're doing that, just remember, don't come to my job no more. So then, after speaking with Papa Omar, he goes to Uncle Marvin. Also with Uncle Marvin, we see Uncle Marvin is showing a sign of resentment, even though So we're picking up this season 3 months prior to the big warehouse scene, where we get to find out what actually happened and led us to Unique being alive and ended up killing his brother. So what happened was, as you know, Unique's brother ended up giving him the beats and left him for dead in some kind of a landfill of some sort. So Unique ends up making it through and finding his way to a phone book and calling for help. I believe the guy he called, his name was Troy or something. I can't remember. I'll put it down in the comments once it comes back. But he ends up calling his friend to give him some help because he was beat real bad. His homeboy ends up coming and taking him to a vet. of all places. But of course, he can't go to a hospital. So he ends up going to a veterinarian where he can get some kind of treatment to get him back to some kind of healthy place, give him some kind of IVs, I'm sure, some kind of nourishments to get himself back on his feet before he can be released and go back home. So anyway, the veterinarian is telling his homeboy, like, listen, he really needs to go to a hospital, because in his condition, nobody's really going to, make it long beat like this. So you need to really seek some help. But that's not what Troy or let's call him homeboy, what homeboy is trying to hear right now. Homeboy just wants Unique alive and well. So the major plot that is established, or one of the major plots that are established in this season, I believe, are when Kanan is faced with having to write this essay that he doesn't know where to begin, what to do, who to write it about. His principal has given him this project where he needs to write an essay about someone in his family that he values or feels is influential, is important to him, and has been, that he loves or reveres in some shape, size, way, or fashion. He don't have a clue on who he's going to write about in his family. So the first person that he goes to try to write about is to Papa Omar. And of course, with him being the police, he immediately shuts him down. Are you crazy? Why would you want to come to my job and then ask me to write about my family, which you are not going to do, so that way you can expose our deep secret and put our life on the line? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So he shuts that down, but first still offers him the opportunity to continue to have a relationship with him. So I still think that that's cool that, hey, I'm still respecting. No, you know what? That ain't cool. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. It's just not cool. So when he goes, so Kanan ends up going to his grandmother's house. His grandmother welcomes him with open arms and is glad to help wherever she can. But of course, we still have to remember that grandma got some stuff with her. Grandma got some stuff with her. She seems sweet and welcoming and loving and kind, but let's not forget the situations that Rocky and Marvin and Uncle Lou have with her, and why they don't really mess with their mama like that. So we're just gonna pocket that for right now and just accept her for who she is, which is that sweet, loving grandmother that she is being to Kanan right now. And right now she's offering the love and support that he needs, and is more than willing to give him information about about his grandfather, Elijah. Now, being in the fact that she does mention that even Grandpa Elijah didn't really care for her that much. I'm not going to say he didn't care for her, but she worked his nerves. She worked his nerves. But nonetheless, she loved and adored him. She respected him, and she appreciated all of his hard work and his efforts that he did to take care of the family, going above and beyond. And she mentioned that he was just like Kanan, and that he was very much capable of doing so much. So that there kind of made me wonder, if he was capable of it, did he ever succeed at anything that he put his mind to? When you said capable of it, was he ever successful of anything that he, at any of his ideas? But we learned to find out through conversations later on in the episode, as Kanan talks to different family members like Marvin, that it appears that Grandpa Elijah has chose to take his own life. And we get to see how that impacted each one of his children, some of his children, in life, beginning with Marvin. Now, Marvin loved, respected, and looked up to his father and took so much pride in his father. But at the same time, he shows resentment for what his father did because he showed weakness by making the choice to take his own life. So we see how that affected Marvin, where he resented the love that he had for his father, and he now considers his father to be weak. Later, we see that Kanan speaks to Uncle Lou, and Uncle Lou shows love and understanding. Although he may not respect the decision that his father chose to make when taking his own life, he understood it. And as we know through prior episodes, we know that Uncle Lou himself has been experiencing some bouts of anxiety or stress, or in his drunken stupors, just being overwhelmed and confused and just depressed with the lifestyle that he was living and what he wanted to do versus just feeling oppressed. So in that moment, Lou, although he says, hey, I don't respect it, but I understand it because I know that life can be hard. So we see that aspect of it. So later on in the episode, we know that Kanan ends up, he's at home, he's at his desk, he's starting to write his paper. Here comes Ma, and we already know from earlier, he's still not messing with his mom. And she's asking, because clearly she knows that, he's writing his paper, and he's been asking everybody, what's the deal? With Grandpa Elijah. You've been asking everybody but me. You don't care about how I feel or how that affected me. And really, Kanan could care less. But Mom lets him know that regardless on how much he hates her, can't stand her, or just don't mess with her, she still loves him and would do anything for him. Like, regardless on how much you hate me, I'm still going to love you. And that's just one of the scenes that's just one of the scenes where in this episode, we see Rocky showing signs of emotion. Now, throughout the season, she's been sprinkling it here and there. But on this episode, we see this contrast where she's kind of like breaking up a little bit, where she's showing a little bit of emotion. Going back to the beginning, now that we've, discussed everybody else's, we have the second plot where, Unique has come up from the landfill. He's getting treated by the veterinarian. The veterinarian is letting his homeboy Troy know, or TC, I'm gonna call him, because I think it's like Troy C or something like that. Once again, y'all, I don't remember. We'll find out next episode. Letting him know that Unique needs some real treatment, even if he regains his health and is able to come back from this trauma that he's experiencing, he's not going to be the same. He's almost going to be in comparison to a rabid dog. Now he going to be crazy, y'all. He going to be crazy. So anyway, and we can see that Unique, he kind of lost his swag a little bit. Now he's kind of turned into a little lightweight brother, like his brother a little bit. He kind of like, he kind of crazy, and rightfully so, because that betrayal is there. I can understand your switch being turned a little bit from what he experienced, but with that going on, he's starting to regain his strength, and we see that his homeboy is feeding him information from what he's getting off the streets, that, you know, Rocky is still out here pumping drugs and taking over some of his spots. And of course he's starting to think like, wait a minute, when we were together, before all this happened to me, she said she was done. But now all of a sudden she thinks I'm gone. Was this a plot to set me up? She's working with my brother. Was she using me like she was using all the rest of the dudes in her life just to use me and get rid of me and take over my, I don't know what you want to call it in the drug world, take over my corners, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So he got those thoughts going off in his mind, not knowing that this lady is pregnant, y'all. Oh, Rock, she's having a baby. Or so we thought. So, of course, we see that we saw all the signs in the beginning when she was in the police precinct, talking about she was hungry, she wanted snacks, getting snacks in the vending machine, throwing up in the bathroom, leading to the pregnancy test, holding her little itty bitty waist. We find out she's pregnant, but she ends up tiptoeing over down to the clinic and getting the procedure done to terminate her pregnancy, because Rocky just isn't at the capacity to take on the responsibility of having another baby, especially an infant. She doesn't have the time. She just doesn't have it in her to do that, especially when you think of who the baby's father was. So after she leaves the clinic, Jukebox is actually giving her a ride. She's taking that quiet, somber ride in the rain home, reflecting on all that she's done, thinking about, I'm pretty sure, love, loss, and what could have been, what would have been, and where's Unique. And Jukebox asks her, well, after she actually admits who the child's father is, and of course Jukebox is surprised, but she still ends up asking the question, did you love him? Herein is another moment where Rock actually shows some vulnerability yet again and some emotion by saying, yes, I could have loved him. I could have loved him. So we see a moment there where, you know, Rocky was really in love. And I kind of wonder if she would have even kept the baby if her and Unique were still together, being this power street drug dealer couple, if his own brother wouldn't have taken him out. So can you imagine what was going on in her head when she saw him in the warehouse and he took his brother out? Oh my gosh, like the warm, fluttery feeling in her stomach of butterflies, and on top of that, it's just like he out here murking people. I don't know. We not gonna forget, and we just gonna like throw this in here before I conclude, that Marvin is still trying to create his own path out here in the streets of New York. He wants to be set apart from Rock. He wants to be his own man. So he's out here meeting Tony Montana. I don't know where I've seen this man before in any other show when I was coming up as a kid. But if y'all know, put it in the comments. It's a show that he was on. But his name was Tony. That's the only thing I remember. But anyway, he's out here striking a deal with him because Tony is basically letting Marvin know that he has it in for his brother-in-law, Tomas. Tomas is married to his daughter, and he's basically doing his daughter dirty. So after Marvin actually takes on this job, Marvin is running around town, you know, stalking Tomas, keeping the eye on him, checking out where he goes, what he does. He actually finds him, and puts in that work at the locker room, scares him straight. And next thing you know, Tomas is in somewhat showing a sign of getting his life together by booking a cruise. I don't know if it's going to be on Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Virgin, whoever else cruise line, if they're going to the Bahamas, if they're going to Mexico. I don't know where they're going. It's probably going to be a nice time because I'm pretty sure they're going to be spending some good money. But he got scared straight that night in the locker room, getting scared with the hockey skate to his neck. But I do not think that is going to be the last of Tomas. So all in all, I know that I probably skipped around a lot. This is my first review, and it's like my third or fourth time trying to get this right. So I'm going to edit this up and I'm going to give it to you. How I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to get better with time. But my summary of all this, we got 3 plot lines so far that I was able to get down. Major plot line is Kanan discovering or uncovering secrets in his family, starting with Uncle Elijah, and also how the death in the family affected everyone. Marvin, Lou, and we don't know how it affected Rock, but we know that it affected Rock. We know. Then the major plot line, of course, is that Unique is back, and he is back as Unique 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. Oh, Ninja, no. He's back, and he is back with a vengeance, and he don't care who it is. He don't care if it's Rock or, matter of fact, he's out to get Rock. That's crazy. And this is, and the crazy thing is that he don't know that this woman was in love with him. She wasn't out to get him at all, but his mind is all messed up. And that is just, whew, it's going to be a sad situation to see that unravel. It's going to be sad to see it unravel. And also Marvin, creating some drama between himself and the Italians. I don't know what's going on with Lou yet. He might be trying to find love because his girlfriend came back from California asking questions about Crown and hoping that he's helping Fame get Streets Have a Body, Get a Body, Streets Got a Body, remixed and packaged and sold in another way somewhere else to get him some money. Okay, but thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you come back and grow with me. And I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully. Bye, y'all.